Hey, it's Gino here from RealEverydayEnglish.com. Thanks for joining me on today's video. If you are a person who is trying to improve your English and therefore become a more confident and natural sounding English speaker by using the kind of language that we use when we communicate with each other, then you're in the right place. Please consider subscribing to the channel if that is your end goal. If you do subscribe, make sure that you hit the little bell notification so that you never miss a free weekly upload. So today we're going to be talking about the word wall. This is a wall behind me, but there are several sayings that I hear all the time in which we use the word wall. So without any further ado, let's do this. Okay, so let's just dive right in, and the first one is to be driven up the wall. To be driven up the wall. So when something or somebody is driving you up the wall, then it is really frustrating you or making you really angry. So to give you an example, this is actually a real example that I used the other day in my daily life. So just at the front of my house, there's an old charity shop. Now the charity shop isn't open anymore, but people keep dumping things at the back of the shop, thinking that the shop is still open, but it's not, it's closed. So this is really driving me up the wall because I have to keep reporting it to the council to get the rubbish moved away. So this situation is driving me up the wall. It's making me really mad. Moving on to the second example, and the second one is to be a fly on the wall. To be a fly on the wall. Now, what this means is to be an unnoticed observer of a particular situation that is happening. So to give you an example, if you are at work and one of your colleagues, your work friends, gets called into the boss's office, and you know that the boss is going to be telling your friend off, telling them off, giving them a bollocking, as we would say in English, then you might say to someone else, oh, I wish I was a fly on the wall. I wish I was a fly on the wall. And it means that you are an unnoticed observer, so you can hear what is being said. Number 3 this week is to bang one's head against a brick wall. Not literally, like me literally banging my head against the wall. No, I wouldn't advise you do that because it's not very good for your health. But we do use it to describe when you have, for example, wasted your time on an enterprise. You didn't get anywhere with it. So, for example, we in our local area, there's me and a few other people who run a litter picking group. So we go out every Tuesday and we pick all the litter off the street, and it looks wonderful. But then the day after, there's more litter on the floor, and it's like I'm banging my head against a brick wall because it's like you're wasting your time. Even though we're not, we're making a good impact, but it's just an example. Number 4 today is very similar to number 3. So number 4 is when you say it's like talking to a brick wall. So this is when the person you are talking to doesn't listen. So for example, if you keep telling your boss that you're working too many hours, listen mate, I'm doing too many hours, I don't want to do all these hours, can you please reduce the amount of work I've got? But he doesn't reduce the amount of work, then you can say to someone else, I keep telling him that I don't want to do all these hours, but it's like talking to a brick wall. And it means he's just not listening. Number 5 today is the walls have ears. So the walls have ears. Not literally, of course. There's not ears inside the walls listening to what you're saying. But we use this to warn somebody to be careful what they say or to speak quietly when speaking about a particular subject, because somebody else who they don't want to hear may be listening. So I'll use the work environment again. If one of your colleagues is saying something bad about the boss or the manager, and you are worried that other people might hear it and then tell the boss, you can say something like, shh, careful mate, the walls have ears. And it means people may be eavesdropping. Number 6 today is to be bouncing off the walls. To be bouncing off the walls. And this means to be energetic to the point of hyperactivity. So, for example, when one of my children were younger, even still to this day a little bit, if she had any sweets that were blue in colour, she used to get really hyper energetic. So I used to use it a lot. I used to say, no, you're not having anything blue, you're not having a slush or anything blue, because you'll be bouncing off the walls in an hour. And it means she'd be really highly energetic within an hour. Okay, that's it for this week's video, people. I keep saying this week's, but I'm doing more than one video a week these days. I'm very busy on the channel. So that's it for today's video, let's say. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned some new vocabulary. Don't forget to use these sayings in your English conversations this week. The sayings that I have explained here today are used in all of the English-speaking world as far as I'm aware. Until the next video, bye-bye, ciao.